Learning outcomes. After studying this module, you shall be able to: number 1, know the concept of simple linear regression. Number 2, learn the difference between population and sample regression function. Number 3, know how to drive the least square estimators. 4, evaluate different types of correlation methods. And 5, understand the difference between correlation and regression. Introduction. Regression analysis is the method of studying the relationship between dependent and independent variable. When a regression analysis contains only one independent variable, then it is known as simple regression model. When it contains more than one independent variable, then it is known as multiple regression model. In this module, our focus will be on simple regression model, whereas the regression analysis measures the nature of relationship among variables. Correlation analysis measures the strength of such relationships.
Linear regression model. Meaning, regression analysis means the estimation of the unknown value of one variable from the known value of the other variables. It is one of the most important statistical tools which is widely used in natural, social, and physical sciences. Prediction or estimation is one of the major problems in the spheres of human activity. The term regression was first used by Sir Francis Galton in the study of hereditary sciences. He found that tall fathers have tall sons and short fathers have short sons. The regression on the average height was described by Galton as regression to mediocrity. Though Sir Galton used the term regression in studying heredity, the concept regression is now extended to other spheres of phenomena which have a tendency to regress or set back to the normal or the general average. Here, it is very important to understand that regression analysis deals with the relationship between dependent and independent variables. However, it does not imply causation. It does not mean that X causes Y. Generally, Y denotes dependent variable and X denotes independent variable. Now we will study simple linear regression. Before understanding regression model, it is very important to understand that what we mean from the word linear in this analysis. In general, two variables y and x are said to be linearly related if there exists a relationship of the form y is equal to alpha plus beta x, where y is equals to line's position on the vertical axis at any point, x is equal to the line's position on the horizontal axis at any point, beta slope of the line, alpha the intercept with the vertical axis, where capital N is equals to 0. However, non-linear relationship among variable exists if corresponding to one unit change in one variable, the other variable does not change at a constant rate but changes at a different rate. Hence, when we plot this relationship on a graph sheet, the resulted line will not be straight. For example, one may have a relation of the form where y is equals to alpha plus beta x square. Population regression function. To understand what we have discussed so far, let us take an example. Suppose one wants to find out the relationship between post-mortem time interval and the concentration of vitreous potassium ion, that is K+ ion. It is very difficult to take data from the whole population, since we have assumed a linear relation between them. The equation can be written as t is equals to alpha plus beta multiplied by k plus, where t is equals to post-mortem time interval, k plus is equals to concentration of vitreous potassium ion, alpha is equals to intercept term, beta is equals to regression coefficient. Next is sample regression function. Unfortunately, it is often not feasible to collect data of the whole population. Sometimes it could be because of inaccessibility, or it is feasible to collect the data, but the procedure is very time and cost consuming. To solve this problem, we collect data from a set of representative of the whole population known as samples. The inferences and interpretation what we make about the relationship of considered variables are on the basis of the result of the study of samples. In general, to differentiate with the population regression line, we put up either cap on the variables or use small alphabets to denote that the function sample regression function. Thus, it can be written as t cap is equals to alpha plus beta multiplied by k plus cap. Next is method of least square. As discussed, we estimate PRF on the basis of SRF. But how do we know that the SRF we have taken is a true estimator of PRF? One of the methods that are very popular in this analysis is method of least square. The least squares method is used to obtain the best fitting straight line to the given data and consists in selecting the best fitting straight line to the values of independent variable for dependent variable. It is based on the assumption that the sum of the squares of differences between the estimated values and the actual observed values of the observations is minimum. Thus, the method of least squares is used in obtaining the equation for fitting a regression line. Our main objective in regression analysis is to estimate the PRF, where yi is equals to a plus bxi plus ui on the basis of the SRF. We shall see how to determine the SRF. From the already said equations, we get ui cap is equals to yi minus yi cap, which is further equivalent to yi cap minus a cap minus b cap multiplied by xi, where ui cap are the differences between the actual and estimated y value. In this figure, we can see u2 cap is equals to y2 minus y2 cap, where y2 is the actual value of y at given x2 and y2 cap is the estimated value of y at x2. Now the exercise is to minimize these differences for the given set of data. To minimize the difference between actual and predicted values, we will use mean statistics. The mean minimizes the sum of squared deviations. We know that the sum of the deviations of the variables from its mean is equal to 0. That is, summation ui cap is equals to summation yi minus yi cap, which is equals to 0. Therefore, we use the sum of the squared derivations. That is, s is equals to summation ui cap whole square, which is equals to summation yi minus yi cap whole square, which is further equivalent to summation yi minus a cap minus b cap multiplied by xi whole square and minimize it to get a line of best fit. To minimize S, we differentiate it partially with respect to A cap and B cap. So, differentiation of S divided by differentiation of A cap is equals to minus 2 multiplied by summation yi minus A cap minus B cap multiplied by xi. Differentiation of S divided by differentiation of B cap is equals to minus 2 multiplied by summation multiplied by yi minus A cap minus B cap multiplied by xi, which is further multiplied by xi. Now to find out the least square estimators, put these derivatives equal to 0. We get summation yi minus A cap minus B cap multiplied by xi is equals to 0 as the first equation, and summation yi minus A cap minus B cap xi, which is further multiplied by xi, equals to 0 as the second equation. Equation 1 and equation 2 are normal equations or least square first order conditions. Solving 1 and 2, we get summation yi is equals to n A cap plus B cap multiplied by summation xi, which is our third equation. Then the fourth equation will be summation yi multiplied by xi, which is equals to A cap summation xi plus B cap summation xi whole square. Dividing both the sides of equation 3 by n, we get y bar is equals to A cap plus B cap multiplied by x bar, which is further equivalent to A cap, which is further equivalent to y bar minus B cap multiplied by x bar, which will be our fifth equation. Substituting equation 5th in equation 4th, we get summation yi multiplied by xi, which is equals to y bar minus B cap multiplied by x bar multiplied by summation of xi plus B cap multiplied by summation of xi square. Solving for B, we get B cap is equals to n multiplied by summation xi yi minus summation xi yi divided by n multiplied by summation xi square minus summation xi whole square. Substituting B cap in equation 5th, we get A cap is equals to summation yi minus B cap multiplied by summation xi divided by n. These are the least square estimators. Since other more complicated methods exist, also called least square methods, the method that we have applied is denominated as ordinary least square or OLS due to its simplicity. Next is linear correlation. So far we have studied that about the nature of relationship between variables. Now we will discuss the strength and degree of relationship between two variables. Correlation analysis determines how well a linear or other equation describes a relationship. There are three methods to determine the correlation of x and y: scatter diagram, Karl-Pearson correlation of coefficient, Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. First is scatter diagram. If x and y denotes the two variables under consideration, then a scatter diagram will depict their strength and degree of relationship in a coordinate system. Types of correlation. First is positive correlation. Positive correlation occurs when an increase in one variable increases the value of other. The figure depicts the positive correlation between x and y. Negative correlation. It occurs when an increase in one variable decreases the value of another. In this figure, the negative correlation is shown where there is a negative relationship between x and y. Next is no correlation. When there is no linear dependency between the variables, it is reflected by a scatter diagram in which all points are unevenly scattered without showing any definite relationship, as house number and IQ show a similar scattered diagram. Hence, it is a case of no correlation. Perfect correlation. When there is a functional dependency between the variables. In this case, all the points are in a straight line as shown in this figure. Strong correlation. When there is a strong relationship between variables. In this case, the scatter points are located very close to each other and the pattern is visible. Weak correlation. When there is a weak relationship between variables. In this case, the scatter points are farther apart from each other as shown in this figure. Next is Karl-Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Karl-Pearson gives a mathematical method to measure the extent of linear relationship between two variables. It can be calculated by using the formula R is equals to summation x y divided by under root of summation x square and summation y square. Properties of correlation coefficient. Pearson's coefficient of correlation, that is small r, lies between -1 and +1, where r varies between -1 and +1 and -1 is less than equal to r and r is greater than equal to 1. Correlation coefficient is independent of the change of origin and scale. Two independent variables are uncorrelated, but the inverse is not true. Next is Spearman's rank correlation method. Karl-Pearson method is not useful when we have qualitative data such as beauty, character, etc., which cannot be measurable quantitatively but can be organized in serial order. Suppose we want to find two attributes, say intelligence and beauty, are related or not. We can arrange a group of n individual in order of rank with respect to proficiency in both the attributes. Let the random variable x and y denotes the ranks of individuals in the characteristics a and b respectively. Here, x and y assume numerical values ranging between 1 to n, as no two individuals get the same rank in a characteristics. It can be calculated by using the formula Rk is equals to 1 minus summation d square divided by n multiplied by n square minus 1. The table provides how we measure strength of relationship with the help of R values, where in one column we have the value of correlation coefficient and the second column shows the strength of correlation. Example of regression and correlation. Let us understand the concept of regression with the help of an example. The given table shows the respective weights x and y of a sample of 12 fathers and their sons respectively. First, find the least square regression of y on x, and second, explain the strength and degree of relationship between weights of father and son. For this, the first part solution will have the regression equation of y on x, which can be given by y is equals to, if we put it in a tabular form, we will get the values of x, y, x and y, x square and y square, and for which summation have to be calculated. So, accordingly, summation x will be equivalent to a factor of 800, summation y is equals to 811, summation x multiplied by y is equals to 54,107, summation x square is equals to 53,418, and summation y square is equals to 54,849. Now, computing for b cap, which is equals to n multiplied by summation xy minus summation x multiplied by summation y divided by n summation x square minus summation x whole square. Now, if we put the respective values, we will get b cap is equals to 0.476. Computing for a cap, which is equals to summation y minus b cap multiplied by summation x divided by n. Again, putting the respective values, we will get a cap equivalent to 35.85. The regression equation will be y is equals to 35.85 plus 0.476 multiplied by x. Now, for the second part, let us plot a scatter diagram in order to know the strength of relationship between x and y. As the data is quantitative in nature, we can use Pearson coefficient of correlation to know the value of r, that is the correlation coefficient, where r is equals to summation x y divided by under root of summation x square multiplied by summation y square, and putting the respective values, we get the value of r as 0.9. Therefore, there is a strong correlation between height of fathers and their son. Next, we will study about correlation versus regression. Correlation and regression are related in sense that both talks about the relationship between variables, where correlation is a statistical method used to determine the strength of relationship between variables. Regression is used to describe the nature of relationship between variables. In simple regression, one variable is considered as independent variable and the other the dependent variable. However, in correlation analysis, there is no such difference between two variables. Correlation does not imply causation, that is, x causes y or vice versa. It only talks about the association between two variables. Regression explains the impact of changes in an independent variable, say x, on the dependent variable, say y. Regression also helps to predict the value of a dependent variable based on the value of at least one independent variable. Regression is about correlation plus prediction. Applications of correlation and regression in forensic science. Correlation and regression are widely used to study human differences and inheritance of intelligence. It can be used in interpreting results from questionnaires and surveys used for collecting data on human communities. The linear regression is a very popular technique in determining time since death and determining age from bone or tooth materials. Correlation helps in establishing a positive or negative relation between two evidences or two factors associated with crime and crime scene. One is to test hypothesis about cause and effect relationships. In this case, the experimenter determines the values of the x variable and sees whether variation in x causes variation in y. For example, giving people different amounts of a drug and measuring their blood pressure. The second main use for correlation and regression is to see whether two variables are associated without necessarily inferring a cause and effect relationship. In this case, neither variable is determined by the experimenter, both are naturally variable. If an association is found, the inference is that variation in x may cause variation in y, or variation in y may cause variation in x, or variation in some other factor may affect both x and y. The third common use of linear regression is estimating the value of one variable corresponding to a particular value of the other variable. For example, a small study is conducted involving 17 infants to investigate the association between gestational age at birth, measured in weeks, and birth weight, measured in grams, which is shown in this table. We wish to estimate the association between gestational age and infant birth weight. In this example, birth weight is the dependent variable and gestational age is the independent variable. Thus, y is equals to birth weight and x is equals to gestational age. The data has been displayed in a scatter diagram in this figure. Each point represents an XY pair. In this case, the gestational age measured in weeks and the birth weight measured in grams. Note that the independent variable is on the horizontal axis or x-axis, and the dependent variable is on the vertical axis or y-axis. The scatter plot shows a positive or direct association between gestational age and birth weight. Infants with shorter gestational ages are more likely to be born with lower weights, and infants with longer gestational ages are more likely to be born with higher weights. The formula for the sample correlation coefficient is R equals to covariance of x and y divided by under root sx square multiplied by sy square, where covariance of x and y is the covariance of x and y as defined by covariance x comma y is equals to summation x minus x bar multiplied by y minus y bar divided by n minus 1. Sx square and sy square are the sample variances of x and y defined as sx square equals to summation x minus x bar divided by n minus 1 and sy square is equals to summation y minus y bar divided by n minus 1. The variances of x and y measure the variability of the x scores and y scores around their respective sample. Means x bar and y bar are considered separately. The covariance measures the variability of the x, y pairs around the mean of x and mean of y considered simultaneously. To compute the sample correlation coefficient, we need to compute the variance of gestational age, the variance of birth weight, and also the covariance of gestational age and birth weight. We first summarize the gestational age data. The mean gestational age is x bar is equals to summation x divided by n, which is equivalent to a factor of 652.1 divided by 17, which is equals to 38.4. To compute the variance of gestational age, we need to sum the squared deviations or differences between each observed gestational age and the mean gestational age. The computations have been shown in this table. The variance of gestational age is Sx square is equals to summation x minus x bar whole square divided by n minus 1, which is equivalent to a factor of 159.45 divided by 16, which is further equivalent to 10. Next, we summarize the birth weight data. The mean birth weight is y bar is equals to summation y divided by n, which is equal to a factor of 49,334 divided by 17, which is equivalent to 2,902. The variance of birth weight is computed just as we did for gestational age, as has been shown in this table. The variance of birth weight is sy square equals to summation y minus y bar whole square divided by n minus 1, which is equivalent to 7767,660 divided by a factor of 16. Next, we compute the covariance of x and y, which is equivalent to summation x minus x bar multiplied by y minus y bar divided by n minus 1. To compute the covariance of gestational age and birth weight, we need to multiply the deviation from the mean gestational age by the deviation from the mean birth weight for each participant, that is, x minus x bar multiplied by y minus y bar. The computations have been shown in this table. Notice that we simply copied the deviations from the mean gestational age and birth weight from the already two tables as has been shown and into this table and multiply them. The covariance of gestational age and birth weight is sy square is equals to summation y minus y bar whole square divided by n minus 1, which is equal to 7767,660 divided by 16, which is equal to 485,578.8. We now compute the sample correlation coefficient, where R is equals to covariance of x and y divided by under root sx square multiplied by sy square, and putting on the respective values we get a factor of 0.82. The sample correlation coefficient indicates a strong positive correlation. As we noted, sample correlation coefficients range from -1 to +1. In practice, meaningful correlations, that is, correlations that are clinically or practically important, as can be as small as 0.4 or -0.4 for positive or negative associations respectively. There are also statistical tests to determine whether an observed correlation is statistically significant or not, that is, statistically significantly different from 0.
Summary. Regression analysis explains the impact of changes in an independent variable on the dependent variable. The objective of such analysis is to estimate and or predict the mean or average value of the dependent variable on the basis of the known or fixed values of the explanatory variables. Dependent variable, the variable we wish to explain. Independent variable, the variable used to explain the dependent variable. Study of only two variables at a time is simple regression analysis, whereas the relationship between a dependent variable and two or more independent variables is known as multiple regression analysis. A deterministic model is one in which the dependent variable is uniquely determined by parametric in the model. Conversely, in a stochastic model, randomization is present. The key concept underlying regression analysis is the concept of the conditional expectation function, that is CEF, or population regression function, that is PRF. Our primary objective in regression analysis is to estimate the PRF. Correlation analysis determines how well a linear or other equation describes a relationship. There are three types of techniques to find correlation among variables. It is different from regression analysis in a sense that where correlation is a statistical method used to determine the strength of the relationship between variables. Regression is used to describe the nature of the relationship between variables.